The Dunlop Masters Superbike Championship livestream is delivered by Maxus Commercial Vehicles and the Harris Group.
Here we are again, James. Doesn't seem like 6 months ago we were stood here at April at the outset of the Masters. Here we are, international circuit ready to rock. 7 championships on the last day of the season. What more do you want, you know?
Yeah, exciting afternoon and morning ahead, Andy. We have the first Supersport race to come a little bit later on. Just at the moment we have Supersport and Superbike B out on track on their warm-up laps. But as you say, 7 championships up for decision here later this afternoon. We're really excited and we're really looking forward to it, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much up for stake at the minute. Superbike, Supersport Pro, Supersport Cup. Jamie Collins little off yesterday. I mean, there's so many equations that you could work out what way today's going to go. I mean, it's a gambling man's game.
Absolutely, and we had a big shootout there yesterday evening in the Superbike race. Thomas O'Grady with that 3-point advantage over Derek Shields, and Tommy put the hammer down and beat Derek fair and square yesterday evening. Very, very exciting competition coming up, certainly in the Superbike class, also in the Superbike Cup, as you say. Jamie Collins tipping off into turn 1 yesterday. What a disaster for Jamie, the ballyhooly bullet. We're so sorry for him, but no damage. He's back out this afternoon, and with all guns blazing, we'll keep a very, very close eye in these championships, Andy. We need mathematicians here to sort it all out for us. It's very, very tight in some of these classes.
Exactly, and that's not to put pressure on some of the riders. I'm even talking about Thomas O'Grady, super twins as well. He could be walking home as a double championship this afternoon without putting the muggers and commentators' course on him. So
yeah, absolutely.
We're looking forward to a really good day's racing here.
Yeah, Tommy was out this morning already, just taking a 3rd place. In behind Dara Crean. Brian McCormick, the fly in the ointment, keeping the boys honest. So Brian took the win in the opening twin race this morning. Nathan McGowan has already been crowned champion in the production twin class. So all to play for, and a very, very exciting afternoon ahead. We're looking forward to it, ladies and gentlemen.
Again. So we're fully live on YouTube, mastersuperbike.ie, and of course the Master Superbike Facebook page. Tune in, and I hope you enjoy a great day's racing. We'll speak to you all soon. So all our streams are up and running at the moment. If you're tuned in from home, you can catch it on mastersuperbike.ie, the YouTube channel of the Dunlop Masters, and also on the Dunlop Masters Facebook page, the live stream and free commentary for the morning and afternoon as well. We're about to get underway for our 2nd B race, comprising of the Superbikes and Supersport riders, which will be a 7-lap affair on this international circuit again. And great with these extra cameras that we have, you can see all the different additional corners that have been added to the national circuit. So when they leave Bridgestone turn 4, they head out to the right-hand corner, which is Kennedy's Rise, bringing them into Lola, then Daly's Drift, the 7A, 7B corners back into Brands Bends, Devaney's, and then back into the paddock corner, and finally into Southside Motor Factors. So myself and James Collins will keep you entertained for the day in the full program of racing that we have. Still so many championships up for grabs. The Super Twins, Classic Superbikes, the main Superbikes, and the Superbike Cup Championship, Supersport Cup also still to be decided, and the pre-injection 1000 class also up for grabs. So there's a lot at stake here, with still 2 races in many of the championship series as well. So looking forward to how this is all going to untangle itself. Just looking for John Byrne, the winner of yesterday's Superbike B race. Is he around? Actually, don't see John. Maybe he's maybe on the last couple of corners of his warm-up lap.
No sign of him, Andy. He should be up there in the front row, and no sign of Johnny. Maybe he's I'm not sure. There's no more strawberries to be picked down in Wexford, Andy, at this stage. So surely he's not still working. John Byrne not with us on the grid. So it is Almantas Monvias, the second place man from yesterday, in that pole position from number 64, Carl Doherty, who set a couple of fastest laps yesterday. And then 76, Robbie McGowan on the outside of the front row of the grid. Second row at number 192, that's the unmistakable for me figure of Noel Carroll, the good old buddy Noel from County Laois. And alongside him, number 444, Vinnie Barber, then Colin Kerwick in the sixth slot on the grid.
903, yeah, tidy looking R6. Just behind him, then on row 3 is Alan Connor.
Warm-up lap, Andy, the riders away. And yeah, up into Max's turn 1 for their opening warm-up lap. Just one warm-up lap ahead here on the international circuit, ladies and gentlemen, and we're away with racing for the day. Very exciting day ahead, and looking forward to it all. Anybody watching on the live stream at this ungodly hour of a Sunday morning, welcome along. It's nice to have you here, and if you have nothing else to do for the afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, get yourselves down here to Mondello Park using the international circuit this weekend for the final couple of rounds of the Dunlop Masters Superbike Championship. We are waiting with bated breath for very, very many races. But I think the really exciting class has to be the tightest of them all, the Superbike class, and that's between Thomas O'Grady and Derek Shields. And watched on the Dunlop Masters Facebook page last night, little interview, post-race interview from both riders. And you know what, it's great, it's just great to see it, you know. Derek Shields and Thomas O'Grady, the greatest of respect for each other, and it's just really, really great to see the way these lads get on, enjoying the racing. And Derek rightly pointed out, you know, that he'd much prefer a good tight race like that and finish second than run away with the race and win it by 10 seconds. It's the excitement, it's the adrenaline rush, it's everything to do with it. And my co-commentator here, Andy Quinn, got some fabulous shots there at the start of that Superbike race yesterday on the Irish Superbike Racing page. Have a look there, ladies and gentlemen, at some cracking shots of the head of the action of the Superbike race yesterday afternoon. Brilliant stuff indeed. And look, watch out the Dunlop Masters Facebook page. Some brilliant stuff up on there, and it really is. It's transformed the series this year, I have to say. It's been a revelation. Brilliant photographs, little videos and clips and interviews. It's just turned it all around, and
yeah,
it's put it up on a new level.
Yeah, it's great content across their Instagram and Facebook page as well. It's really lit the championship up for those that can't always make the series. But we're ready to get our action underway for the first time this morning, the Superbike and Supersport B race. Again on pole position is Almantas Monvias, ahead of Carl Doherty and Robbie McGowan. Row 2, Noel Carroll, Vinnie Barber and Colin Kerwick. Alan Connor is on row 3 beside Hugh Sullivan and Jack Mayers.
Away they go, and it is flying start for the BMW of Almantas Monvias into Max's turn 1 for the opening time. And let's get them all safely through following that delay from earlier on in the twin race. And happy to report that I don't think no major injuries for Luke Deegan there, thankfully. A nasty little incident there on the exit of Southside Motor Factors, but very, very efficiently dealt with by our marshals and medics. Thank you very much indeed, lads and ladies down there, as our race leaders come back down into the main arena. Bridgestone turn 4 for the first of 7 laps here in the Superbike and Supersport B class. Almantas Monvias has the advantage over, I think it's Carl Doherty there in second place from Robbie McGowan, as we watch all the riders disappear up out of view onto Daly's Drift. On they go down into 7A and 7B, and our early race leader Almantas Monvias, there he is with the white helmet.
Yeah, it's S1000, looks like he's riding Not quite sure what that car Doherty's on. Is that a ZX-10R?
Kawasaki, Andy, certainly so. A bit more distinctive looking. And you can just tell the different nose cones, it kind of gives them away. There's Alan Connor in the background there.
There
with
we have a rider that
Sheen.
looks like Vinnie Barber has become a cropper on the, is that the exit of 7B?
7B, certainly the second part of 7A and 7B as they come through Bahrain's bends on your camera. So the yellow flags will be out down there, and the marshals will have plenty of time to deal with that. I think just on, do we have yellow flag? Another yellow flag up there.
And we have a red flag actually. So
Reds, okay, red flag race has been stopped. So unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we haven't even got a half a lap completed. Red flags have been deployed, so obviously somebody in need of attention there. I think there may have been another incident over around the back, but yeah, there's another one up around through the exit of Bahrain bends, I think, and around Devaney's. That may be the issue, Andy, because it looked as though that little slide off on the exit of 7B may not have caused too much of an issue, but for the moment, we have a red flag, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. Not the start we needed, Andy.
No, full schedule. I haven't quite counted the program to see how many races, but yesterday we had a full program with some of the classes getting their 2 races run yesterday. But today, some of the main categories have to get 2 races out. So, yeah, we want to see this run a little bit more fluid. I know 15, 16, and 17 rounds was quite tricky and really did very well to deliver the full program with the 6 o'clock shutdown that we have. So hopefully this is just a once-off.
Yeah, so we're just waiting on this to be dealt with, Andy. Certainly the medical team is being deployed, so yeah, somebody in need of attention up at the back of the circuit there. So yeah, so that's, and the recovery vehicle also going out. So yeah, so we shall deal with this. And I think for the moment, because we do have a stoppage, I think we will very shortly be going to an ad break, ladies and gentlemen, and we will be back with the live stream very, very shortly indeed. Thank you.
Yeah, indeed. We'll flip to an ad break, and hopefully nothing too serious out there. We can get the response cars out there to give the track a bit of a sweep in case it needs be. But we'll be back with you in a couple of minutes after this word from our sponsors.
The Dunlop Masters Superbike Championship live stream is delivered by Maxus Commercial Vehicles and the Harris Group.
Every day is a chance to make this world your own. Just watch out for those you share it with. My world, my station, my music.
Dunlop Masters Superbike Championship is supported by Dunlop Tyres, Maxus Commercial Vehicles, the Harris Group, Principal Insurance and Superbikes.ie.
So we're just waiting for all the support vehicles to come back into their position, and we will have a restarted race. Haven't been told exactly whether it's going to be 1 and 6, perhaps 1 and 5, not quite sure. We'll see what race control come up with. So the response vehicle just heading down into Maxus corner, probably come back in the back gate, and we will have green sectors all around the circuit to restart. So after this Superbike and Supersport B race, we will have a Moto 400 race. And Damien Horgan, of course, the championship winner from yesterday, ahead of Andrew Murphy. Good competition between the riders in the last couple of rounds, and should make for an interesting championship in 2023, depending on what the riders decide to do. Of course, Damien Horgan competing in Superbikes as well as Andrew Murphy being a previous Supersport 600 rider. So it's always interesting to see what happens over the winter months, and what riders decide to do, carry on in the championship that they're used to. Maybe something like Kevin Canny, who has gone from Supersport Cup to Moto 400 and has excelled quite well on that, in that championship, picking up a couple of podiums in the last 5 rounds. Indeed, so Moto 400 will follow this Supersport and Superbike restarted B race, and then we will have pre-injection classic Superbikes, which of course the 600 pre-injection class has been landed by Noel Dunn Jr. Classic Superbike still up in the air. Derek Wilson, I think,
a bit more distinctive looking at
deficit behind Alan Tierney, so that could be one to watch upcoming as well as the pre-injection 1000 series, which is still undecided.
Yeah, Derek Wilson had missed the last round. He was over at the Manx Grand Prix, and but unfortunately missed the last round, so he finds himself 12 points in arrears, as you say, Andy. Alan Tierney really only has to finish somewhere reasonably. Just the one race left, because we had 2 classic Superbike races yesterday, and of course the pre-injections were out with them, so their 2 rounds, they only have just the 1 round left. That's coming up later on, but yeah, as you say, still dealing with the incidents here on track, and unfortunate. This is just what we don't need, but it does happen. It's racing, ladies and gentlemen, and that's the name of the game. And unfortunately, incidents do happen quite regularly. Don't always result in these red flag situations, but we do need medical assistance there for 1 or 2 riders up the back of the circuit, and it's nothing too serious, but they do need attention, and that's that. So as you look on your screen at the moment, you're looking down from Max's turn 1 onto the BMW M-Town Bridge, and that's the control tower there, and up in that top right hand window you can probably just about see the figures of myself and Andy Quinn in the commentary box at the top of the tower there. If you're watching the live stream, there's another of the ambulances. Is that going out on track? I think it is now, yes indeed. So obviously a second ambulance needed up there, unfortunately. So you can see for yourself, ladies and gentlemen, nothing happening on the racing department at the moment until these incidents have been dealt with. So, yeah. And plenty of activity here, ladies and gentlemen, plenty of viewing points. We have a lovely, lovely temporary grandstand that has been built for the drift cars there a couple of weeks back, and I think it's in place for the last round of that coming up as well. But a beautiful, beautiful panoramic view of turn 1 and turn 2 and all the way up into, you know, if you stand up then in the grandstand, you can see behind you turn 4. Beautiful seats there. I'm going to try and get up there in a minute because it really is beautiful, beautiful view of turn 2. And turn 2, one of the most exciting corners on the track, kind of off camber, very, very
it has
quick.
that negative camber, and it's the first left-hand corner, so it can be quite tricky. Predominantly on a right-hand circuit, it's the first corner you tip in. Left-hand side of the tyre can be a little bit cold. We've seen experienced guys go down there, and I mean, it's not particularly warm here at the minute. It's nice and sunny, but track temperature 13 degrees, and that's enough to catch out some of the riders. Yeah, particularly on the bikes that carry a lot of corner speed, like your Super Sports or your lightweight Super Sport Moto 400s as well. So that might come into factor later on. Yeah, always an interesting one, and you see the real racers. Like kind of, there's no such thing as an unreal racer, but some of these guys, and you see some passing maneuvers, and if you see a pass at turn 2, you know that a chap, anyone making a move in turn 2 means business, Andy. And you know, it really is. It's a brave man's corner. It really is. Even though it's only second gear, but it is a real tricky one. It can catch you out so regularly. Does catch people out. Definitely, yeah. I mean, if you see somebody on the outside of turn 2, it's generally an aggressive manoeuvre, and it's a brave manoeuvre as well. But as you said, with that grandstand in there, people have a bird's eye view of that. And also to be able to take a look over the right-hand shoulder and watch turn 4 Bridgestone, which is another cracking corner. Again, they're coming in from turn 3, carrying a lot of corner speed, and they're taking a wide sweep to get a good drive out towards those extra international circuit corners. So it's really great to see that that grandstand's in place. And of course, also at turn 1, we have the Megabytes big screen as well. So great for the viewers that they have the international circuit in front of them on that big screen, as well as the live stream that we have in place from the Masters Superbike page, the Dunlop Masters Facebook page, and of course their YouTube channel. So yeah, lots to see and do here for the day, just not at the moment. Yeah, just watching out the back and see some of our photographers moving position. Big Joe taking another vantage point there. Joe, enjoy your day. Getting the snaps as usual. And just moving to the inside of the exit of turn 4 there. Big Joe Connolly. So good to see you, lads. And we shall look forward to your photographs later on as we see them appear up on the various different little Instagram and Facebook pages. Always great to see. Yeah, it'd be good to, again, when we wind down this evening, it's going to be 5 or 6 months before we have any activity, two-wheel action here in Mondello Park. So we're going to make the most for the next couple of hours with the winter of no racing ahead of us. It's important that we make the most of what we have on today's program. Again, some of the championships that are wide open are quite small margins between them, and with 2 races to go, there's 50 points there to be picked up by the competitors, particularly in the superbikes and super twins as well. Thomas O'Grady has to fend off the attentions of Dara Crean, and of course Derek Shields here is as well on the Roadhouse Macau S1000 RR in top form. So he's going to be putting pressure on Thomas O'Grady. So it's there's a lot at stake. Yeah, and don't forget, Andy, we have the maiden weekend on a superbike for Kevin Keys on a Daracor Racing R1 Yamaha. Kevin didn't post a qualifying time yesterday because the transponder wasn't working on the bike and had to start the opening superbike race from the back row of the grid and proceeded up to 5th position on the grid. And with, I'm not sure on the particular lap times, but the grid position for the Superbike race later on will be very, very interesting. Kevin Keys will be right in the mix there as well. Make no doubt about it. The experience of that young man will certainly put him in amongst the front men, I would imagine, and just see how he can go on that Superbike for the first weekend of trying. But I think he may just
you would never know, may just have a little bit of a bearing on the result of the championship here in the Superbike class. We shall see. Kevin Keys, wish you all the best. Great to see you in action and out on a Superbike, and we wish you all the very best on the Darracor Racing R1 Yamaha. Kevin Keys from Edenderry, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he'll have the added benefit of having some Supersport time, so he'll be able to dial himself back into the international circuit quite quickly, jump from the Supersport bike to the Superbike as well, so he'll be up to race pace quite quickly for that Superbike race. We have a Superbike race just coming up after lunch, so we'll have 2 this afternoon. Of course, the last race of the afternoon will be the Dunlop Masters final Superbike race of the day and of the year.
Okay, just waiting for a paddock announcement. That's gone by. Just another little bit of information, Andy. The Motorcycle Racers Supporters Club, and thanks to Noel Fox and his team there in the Motorcycle Racers Supporters Club for their contribution of this weekend. They're donating a total of €900 in prize money for the weekend. 500 of that is going to the Young Riders of the Year, and €400 also goes towards the entries for all riders in the Junior Supersport 300 class, thereby reducing each of their riders' entries fees. The Motorcycle Racers Supporters Club has approximately 50 members, and thus far this year have contributed €900 at each round of the Dunlop Masters Championship races. This covered prize monies, entry fees and donations for new tyres. And they would like to, Noel Fox and all his crew at the Motorcycle Racers Supporters Club would like to thank all at Mondello Park who have supported them and have contributed, anyone who has contributed or donated money towards the Supporters Club. They had a fantastic year, and hopefully 2023 will be better again for Noel Fox and the Motorcycle Racers Supporters Club. Well done, lads. It's fantastic. Putting a bit back into the sport that really has given you very, very little, only entertainment here at Mondello Park. So Noel Fox and all the team there, doing a great job in supporting the riders, and I know it's very much appreciated by all of the riders involved, and it's been a great addition to them. So yeah, so that's that. I think we're not far away from a restart. I did hear an announcement. It looks as though we're going to be getting going again very shortly. Once again with a reduced 5-lap race for this Superbike and Supersport B class. That will be coming up very, very shortly, ladies and gentlemen.
So just had an announcement from Race Control that the Supersport and Superbike B race will be restarted and held over 5 laps. In the meantime, we have some marshals and track attendants giving the circuit a bit of a brush, clean up from those 2 incidents that we had at 7A and 7B. And then we will have the resumption of that Supersport and Superbike B race over 5 laps. So that'll be 1 warm-up lap and 5 laps. And we'll just cut to an ad break and be back to you shortly.
Livestream is delivered by Maxus Commercial Vehicles and the Harris Group. The Dunlop Masters Superbike Championship is supported by DM Groundworks, FJS, Daracor, Sorcon Plant, and Nidar Heat.
We have Mammoth Competitions who are raffling a BMW S1000 RR, or you have the chance of picking up €7,500 in cash, and you can see them just beside the hub at the Moto Cafe. Raffle tickets are available there. Also lots of apparel and lots of merchandise to be picked up. You can have a look at Ollie and Sue down at SKD Motorcycle Clothing. They're based in Wexford, but they're in the paddock. You can see them also at the back of the restaurant. Also Race World apparel. You can pick up all their official motorsport merchandise, customized racewear and teamwear, so you get all your Marc Marquez, all of that merchandise also in the paddock. Also sponsors of the Dunlop Masters Championship. You can see superbikes.ie just beside the restaurant as well, where you can pick up performance parts for your race bikes. So riders back on the dummy grid now for this restarted Super Sport and Superbike B race. Again, one sighting lap to come, and then we'll have 5 race laps.
Hopefully, Andy, yeah, we can get things rolling properly following that stoppage in the Twins race earlier, and of course the opening lap of this Superbike Supersport B. Just a little note, at the end of that, the very last lap of that Twins race was a new lap record for Brian McCormick, 1 minute 46.274 for Brian McCormick, the lap record that was held by Michael Sweeney from last season, when Michael Sweeney was gracing us with his presence with a serious lack of road racing. Sweeney competed in all of the Twins rounds last year and broke the lap record, but Brian McCormick is the new lap record holder. Lap record gone in that race, Andy, and Derek Crean was right with him, so Derek Crean also on lap record pace, not quite there, but 1 minute 46.274. Well done, Brian. A nice little thing to take home with you, and another win in the Twins class, and hopefully get that Superbike sorted for later on this afternoon.
Certainly, great to see the potential in these Aprilia 660s starting to come to the fore, when really it was the ER6s that were ruling the roost in the Super Twin class. But you're starting to see the domination in the front row of Thomas O'Grady, Brian McCormick's and Dara Crean's RS660 as well. And there's more to come in these bikes as more performance parts become available. And again, Brian hasn't been on the international circuit on that bike as well, so to come in here and put in a new lap record on the bounces, it's quite impressive. And then again, one more race in that Super Twins class this afternoon, so who's to say that that lap record doesn't go again?
Absolutely, and you know, Derek Green will be doing everything he can to try and hang on to the outside chance that he has of that championship. We're under starters orders here now, coming under starters orders for the start of the Superbike and Supersport B race. The lights, it's away, the last warm-up lap, so yeah, here we go. Warm-up lap, as we say, but yeah, so as we have already mentioned several times, all to play for, and hopefully now we can string a few races together here and get things running nice and smoothly before lunchtime. So we have the Superbike B on track at the moment on their warm-up lap, and still to come before lunch, 3 more races in fact, the Moto 400s, pre-injections and classic Superbikes combined and of course then the opening Supersport race of the day here for the final few rounds of the Dunlop Masters Superbike Championship. It's brightening up. The temperature is ever so slightly up. Track temperature says 14 degrees. I know the outside air temperature is a very similar temperature, around 14, 15 degrees today. Perfect conditions for racing, and there's no two ways about it. As we've seen already, Brian McCormick breaking the lap record at the head of the twins race there. And you know, you've mentioned the Aprilias, but you know, there's another little factor to take into account there, the caliber of the riders on them. And you know, Brian McCormick, Thomas O'Grady and Derek Crean, of course, top class men, you know, really, you know, with top class machinery, it makes the difference, Andy. It really, really does.
Yeah, the cream of the crop, certainly. And of course, with this similarity of the performance of these machines, it brings it down to a Riders' Championship. And for Derek Crean to be hanging on the short tails of Brian McCormick is a testament to the potential and the skills of Derek Crean. He's really had a tremendous season. We're looking forward to him to see what he decides to do next year. Maybe he'll go full Super Sport or Superbike, not quite sure. He's 5 months to figure it out. But again, interested to see what Riders' decision will be.
And that, as you say, Andy, it always is interesting. You know, you never know. Sometimes riders come along and they get a deal, or they get a little bit of a sponsorship deal, and they can really, really surprise you. Like this year, we didn't expect Jamie Collins to be riding a Superbike. You know, we thought he'd be, you know, Supersport Pro class, but proceeded then and decided that, you know, the right thing to do was progress from the Supersport Cup class onto Superbike Cup class, and he's made fantastic.
Yeah, he's definitely got the bit between his teeth, and to make the jump from Supersport to Superbike is a huge challenge, and to be on top of the table, to be second in the table with a couple of races left to go, been fantastic. Good to see him walk away from that little incident yesterday. So it's all to play for between himself and Andrew Weirty for the remaining rounds of that Superbike Cup Series.
So we're back with the action here, and the opening live race of the morning for you, Superbike and Supersport B class. Almantis Montvias on that pole position and gets away on his BMW S1000RR. First man into Maxus turn 1 should be Almantis, and he certainly is.
Yeah, nicely around and safely out to come out of Maxus corner into turn 2 for the first time. Again, that tricky left-hander, but no problems for any of the riders so far as they head out into the country corner turn 3. And watch them gingerly in that double apex then. Nicely out again, and it looks like Almantis still has the lead. I think it's Robbie McGarren in second place. It looks to be on that ZX10R. Just see who's that in third place.
Trying to pick out the number on screen here, Andy. We're not quite able to make it out as they make their way up. Kennedy's rising around the right-hander of Lola, down onto the very fast Daly's Drift. Drop away down out of our view from the tower, but we shall pick them up on screen here with the live action, and it certainly is Almantis Montvias with that distinctive white RA helmet on him as he hard on the brakes down into 7A and 7B, and I think it is in fact Robbie McGowan there in second place, or is there?
Yeah, it looks like Robbie on that ZX10R, the red one. I'm trying to pick out who that is in third position. It's Noel Carroll is a little bit further adrift in fourth, followed by Alan Connor, and then in fifth place, 903, I think that's Colin Kerwick. So they will shortly be back round Devaney's corner and into Paddock corner for the first time. We watch Almantis on that black S1000 RR BMW.
Yeah, through Paddock Bend they come and up into Southside Motor Factors to complete lap 1 of 5. There's our race leader, and we shall pick them up as they get past the commentary point and down across as the transponders click our screens up here. And it is Almantis Montvias from Robbie McGowan. Then Hugh O'Sullivan is the rider, number 972, a newcomer in third place. Noel Carroll, Alan Connor and Colin Kerwick, 4th, 5th and 6th.
Yeah, after that then it's Jack Mayers, Cup rider on the ZX6R. John Griffin, number 77, behind him, and UK road racer Sean Wynn is in 9th place, number 777, and John Cahill, a familiar face to here on the roads, is in 10th position.
Yeah, so back down into the main arena they come. Bridgestone turn 4, race leader Almantis Montvias from Robbie McGowan, and this one a little bit spread out, Andy, compared to yesterday's opening action where we had John Byrne at the head of things on his Fireblade Honda, not making an appearance this morning. Not sure what's gone on there. Maybe, I don't know, we might see Johnny around the paddock there at lunchtime. We shall find out if he's still in situ, or maybe he's had to go home. You just don't know. But away they go down into 7A and 7B, the double right-hander down there, out of your view from the grandstand, ladies and gentlemen, but you can pick it up on the big screen in front of you as Almantis Monfils, and the sunshine just breaking through the clouds now and turning into a very, very pleasant Sunday morning here at Mondello Park for the final rounds of the Dunlop Masters Superbike Championship. Next race on your card, ladies and gentlemen, is of course the Moto 400s. We already had the champion, Damien Horgan, crown champion yesterday afternoon. The Louth rider won his first 400 championship. Well done to Damien, and we look forward to seeing them out in action now, coming up after this Superbike B race.
Yeah, fastest lap there by Almantis Monfils on the S1000 BMW as he comes past the tower to complete his second lap with 3 remaining. Track temperature creeping up to nearly 15 degrees though, so if this persists, we could be in absolutely perfect conditions for the upcoming races. So fastest lap of the race for Almantis, who leads this race from Robbie McGowan, with newcomer 972 Hugh O'Sullivan in second. Alan Connors got past Noel Carl and brings him up to 4th position. In 6th position then Colin Kerwick on an R6. 7th position is Jack Mears ahead of John Griffin, and John Cahill is in 9th. It's tipping into turn 4, Bridgestone corner, and back out towards those additional corners of the international circuit, beginning with Kennedy's Rise. And watch that, some super shots of turn 4, Bridgestone corner, and flips then to Almantis, who goes down Daly's Drift, downhill, hard on the brakes, tricky corner that 7A, 7B, double apex right-hander.
Looking out for a race leader, seems to have cleared off. He certainly has quite a substantial lead now. It was 1.8 at the end of the previous lap, but that's certainly increased. Almantis has really pulled the pin here. 151.433, his best lap so far. But it looks as though he's going to go faster here again, because he certainly is extending that lead as he drops it down into Paddock Bend. There he is, right on cue into Paddock Bend, Almantis Monfils, and out he comes on the exit. Once again on the brakes into Southside Motor Factors, and just drops that right knee down to the deck. And there's our 2nd and 3rd place man, Robbie McGowan, and of course the newcomer Hugh O'Sullivan. Hugh on a super sport machine.
Yeah, that's an R6 versus his RX10R, so he's well capable of flinging that around, Hugh O'Sullivan. Almantis still holds on to that fastest lap. He put in a 151.2 there with 2 laps remaining once this lap finishes.
Yeah, so, but the gap now out to almost 5 seconds, Andy, for Almantis Monfils, so no pressure whatsoever on him. Carl Doherty, obviously a victim of one of those incidents in the earlier race, because he's not with us, and he was the fastest man in this race yesterday. So unfortunately, Carl may have been one of the victims of those earlier incidents in that race that was stopped just previously. So best wishes to any injured riders today. Of course, Carl Doherty, who was down Vinnie Barber, and of course Luke Deegan, who had that incident near the pit wall. I think everybody's pretty much okay. Nothing too serious anyway, and get well soon, lads. And we wish you all the best with your respective recoveries.
For sure. Just seeing a retirement coming down pit lane is Alex Kenny, number 947. So he maybe have some mechanicals with that. So he's decided the safest thing to do is to come in. So we're just looking at the riders now as they leaders as they go past, head out towards 7A and 7B. It's still Almantis who leads with the fastest lap, ahead of Robbie McGowan on that red ZX10R number 76, followed closely by Hugh O'Sullivan on, I think it says a ZX6R on the timing screen, but in fact that's a Yamaha R6.
Yeah, and a big gap now, and it really has become quite disjointed, this race. Almantis has cleared off. Then there's a 2nd and 3rd place, and Alan Connor having a very, very lonely ride there in 4th place. But he won't mind about that, just enjoys his spin around here at Mondello Park, and likes to get out on the big Suzuki of Alan Connor.
And Hugh O'Sullivan made a move on Robbie McGowan, did get past him, but the extra cubes of the Superbike ZX10R has made the difference. So we could have a good dice going on in this remaining couple of corners between second place and third place, Hugh O'Sullivan, Robbie McGowan, as the last lap flag has been shown. So not too many corners left in race 2 of the Superbike and Supersport B race.
Yeah, we're watching the battle for that second place, and it certainly, it's advantage Robbie McGowan on the ZX10. He certainly shall have the advantage on the exit of turn 4 with the superior power up along Kennedy's Rise, and pulling himself away from the close attention of Hugh O'Sullivan. Hugh unable to respond, just doesn't have the horsepower there in the inferior powered 600 Yamaha, I think you say it is, Andy. They're around Lola for the final time, and out onto Daly's Drift they go, and this is where the power difference shall be seen. Certainly pulls out a couple of bike links there down into 7A and 7B, the slightly more nimble R6, and a very good riding Hugh O'Sullivan there in third place is going to close it in the final few bends here. Out of 7B they come, and up into Bahrain bends for the final time. The right-left flip-flop chicane of Bahrain's Bends, named after Martin Bahrain, the former owner of Mondello Park, who of course recently passed away there just last year. We remember Martin Bahrain and Bahrain's Bends, ladies and gentlemen. That's the corners named after him there, and of course the museum across the way also named in memory of Martin Bahrain. We do remember him today at the final round of the Dunlop Masters Superbike Championship. There's the checkered flag for Almantas Monvias, and he takes the checkered flag in quite some style and quite a lot of comfort as well. Second place does go to Robbie McGowan. Third place on the 600, a good ride from Hugh O'Sullivan there, takes that third place. Next across the line will be the veteran, he won't mind me calling him a veteran, the veteran from Duleek. That's Alan Connor crossing the line now in the Suzuki, followed by Noel Carroll and Jack Mears.
Yeah, Colin Kerwick is in 7th place with number 903. 8th position went to John Cahill. We're just waiting on John Griffin to take 9th. Albert Pender was 10th. Sean Wynne was 11th. Tom Byrne 12th. Aaron Malone 13th. Stephen Williams 14th. And Richard Hearn 15th. Cal McCarthy is last across the line in 16th position. As we confirm the results with our graphic, Dunlop Superbike and Supersport B race, total time of win for Almantas Montvillas, Robbie McGowan 2nd, Hugh O'Sullivan 3rd, Alan Connor 4th, Noel Carroll 5th, Jack Mears 6th, Colin Kerwick 7th, John Cahill 8th, in 9th position John Griffin, and 10th position was Albert Pender. So riders being held in the technical area, and then we will have our Moto 400 guys form up to get their race going. Third race of this weekend. So we'll get our next race prepared, and in the meantime we'll go to an ad break.
The Dunlop Masters Superbike Championship live stream is delivered by Maxus Commercial Vehicles and the Harris Group.
Can I be where
The Dunlop Masters Superbike Championship is supported by DM Groundworks, FJS, Daracor, Sorcon Plant and Nidar Heat.
So we can see our Moto 400 riders taken to the circuit for the last time at the 2022 Dunlop Master Series. As we watch the 2022 champion Damien Horgan take his place on the grid. Andrew Murphy will also be racing, keeping him honest, so championship may be decided, but there's still bragging rights for the rest of the day to be picked up. So we're still going to see some competitive action between these two guys, I'm sure. So we've got a field of 17 400cc bikes out on the circuit. Maybe not, you might not see the full complement of the 17, but still 4 rows of Moto 400s as we watch them drop into 7A, 7B. David Broderick on his V4 Honda. So again, just confirmation that based on yesterday's times, Damien Horgan will take the last pole position in the 400cc race of 2022. Alongside him will be Andrew Murphy, and completing row 1 will be Mark Sheridan, running 3rd in the championship. Newcomer, of course, Kevin Canny is in 4th position, taking up the 1st position of row 2. Alongside him is Conor McCarthy, and then Simon Callan from Cork on the 400 Honda completes row 2 in 6th position. David Murphy will start row 3 alongside Peter Doherty and David Broderick. Roy Wurst and Sean Wynn are on row 4, with Cian O'Brien completing that. And that will be our grid positions for our 7-lap race, our final 400cc Moto 400 race of 2022. Still some riders out on the circuit putting some heat into the tyres. Of course, treaded tyres for the Moto 400 class, only slicks for the Superbikes. So Damien Horgan gets around the grippier sections of turn 4 Bridgestone corner to head out towards Lola. There's just one warm-up lap for the international circuit. And already we can see some of the riders on the grid waiting for the action to start. Andrew Murphy there also nicely around turn 4 as they head out towards Lola and into Daly's Drift 7A and 7B to bring them back towards Martin Baran's Bends Devaney's corner, turn 9. The familiar turn 10, that is Paddock Bend. And then the run up into Southside Motor Factors. As Damien Horgan gets round there, and he will be, of course, on pole position ahead of this 7-lap race. So the last of the riders coming around Paddock Bend. As we see the front row starting the prize of 2022 champion Damien Horgan. Well done, Damien. And alongside Damien will be number 154, the Limerick man, Andrew Murphy on a 400 Honda. Gave Damien a fair battle for the season. Hopefully they come back again next year. Then completing row 3 will be, completing row 1 will be number 3, Mark Sheridan on ZXR 400 Kawasaki. So most riders under the 2-minute mark as well. We might see that for the first lap being a standing start, but certainly we should see a lot of riders dipping under the 2-minute margin over the 7 laps. Get out there for the first sighting lap, so we should have racing underway in a couple of minutes. So we have a field of 14 bikes in the Moto 400 class. Leaders coming into turn 4, of course, and this is their just warm-up lap. Damien Horgan and the shadow that is his fierce rival Andrew Murphy. You see, he had a great first race yesterday, but whatever change he made for race 2 made all the difference. He was able to tag in Damien a little bit tighter than he could in race 1. After the 400 race, we'll have the pre-injection and classic superbikes. Of course, that championship is still to be determined. The classic superbikes between Alan Tierney and Derek Wilson, and also the pre-injection 1000 series has to be Andrew Murphy is first out of Southside Motor Factors. And then it is take his position, second place on row 1.
One of the riders returning into the pit lane as Andrew Murphy weaves his way down the main straight up to his front row position alongside the pole sitter, which will be Damien Horgan, the 2022 400 champion, number 81. Andrew, who last time out on the international circuit broke the lap record, and Damien Horgan did it in style yesterday, winning the championship and breaking the lap record, the Moto 400 lap record on his final lap yesterday in yesterday evening's race. So did it in style, brilliant stuff from him. And newcomer there, number 984 in the pit lane.
That's Kevin Canny, is it? Who
994 is Kevin Canny, who was a front runner yesterday. He has retired into the paddock. So we're waiting on the start of this one here. Damien Horgan, Andrew Murphy, and of course Mark Sheridan across the front row. And then on the second row, the solitary rider Conor McCarthy. They're away. Oh dear me. Rider stops on the line. That's 777. That was Sean Wynn.
Sean Wynn.
Yeah, but it gets going again and pulls it in. Keep her running there, Sean, and get her off the track. Good man. And riders are through. And it is Andrew Murphy with an early lead. Andrew Murphy gets the whole shot into turn 1 and out. Around Campion's Corner they go. Out, up into the countryside of turn 3.
Yeah, he's established quite a lead already. As we look at second and third position battle, Andrew Murphy has must have 10 or 11 bike lengths of a lead already established.
Yeah, it's Mark Sheridan surprisingly in second place. Damien Horgan got a horrendous start for whatever reason, and maybe just a little bit of a over celebration there last night. I'm not too sure. We can't say what happened, but maybe just burning the midnight oil a little bit, not looking at race engines, possibly having the crack there with the lads and enjoying his championship win. He's entitled to it.
Yeah, he's got past Mark Sheridan there. Maybe there was a little bit of contact. He had his hand up there as they got past, so maybe there was just a little bit of friction between them. But Damien Horgan back into second place as he comes out of 7B to come back up into Brand's Bend. But the lead still is with Andrew Murphy. Looking to see what his lap time is going to be, even from a standing start. He's shown everybody else a clean pair of wheels. We have a rider down at 7A. Not quite sure who that is.
Well, I can tell you this much, Andy. I think it's Andrew Murphy because he's nowhere to be seen on track. So I think Andrew may have maybe already gone. And despite that lightning start from Andrew, he's disappeared from the front. And it is Damien Horgan leads it into Southside Motor Factors ahead of Mark Sheridan. So that certainly is going to make this a somewhat quiet race. That certainly will. Andrew Murphy has certainly, must be Andrew Murphy who lost it down there in the 7A, 7B area of the track.
Yeah, that's a disappointing end of the season for Andrew. So Damien Horgan's going to have a country mile lead in that championship after this final race of the afternoon, the morning, and the year indeed.
Beautiful sunshine here at Mondello Park, ladies and gentlemen. If you're watching on the live stream, there's plenty of time to get down here for the afternoon. Great action to come in the afternoon with the culmination of the Superbike classes and of course the Supersport classes and the twins. So some really exciting action. You can watch it live on your phone or on your iPad, but if you're in the vicinity, get yourselves over here to Mondello Park. It's a beautiful day, and we look forward to your company, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, so that Damien Horgan leads after 2 laps ahead of Mark Sheridan, number 3, that green ZXR 400, and that is promoted David Broderick into 3rd position, number 103, as the riders are out of Lola Corner into Daly's Drift.
And let's just see if we can get a look at the what's happened to Andrew Murphy down here at 7A and 7B. I'm sure we may be able to see with the panoramic view from that cherry picker, we may be able to see a bike in the area there. No, it's well tidied away wherever it went, and unfortunately Andrew is now a spectator down in that area of the track. So the leaders through: Brian Benz, Damien Horgan, the 2022 Moto 400 champion, and he is really extending his lead over Mark Sheridan. It was 5.5 seconds at the end of that opening lap, and just coming down to complete lap 2 of 7. Long way to go here, and it's really spread out, ladies and gentlemen. There is the stricken machine of Andrew Murphy. Hard luck, Andrew. He's down there, and the marshals are just have the bike in behind the Armco barrier. So thanks to our cameraman there picking it up down there, the remote cameras. Well done, lads. Thanks very much, and confirming that Andrew is standing up and perfectly okay down there at 7A and 7B.
Yeah, fastest lap of the day then to Damien Horgan with a 1:54 ahead of David Broderick, who's now in second place. So it looks as though we have lost Mark Sheridan somewhere as well. Or is it actually a jump start for Mark Sheridan? Yeah, he's been given a 20-second penalty, as has number 58, Roy Wurst. That drops Roy down to 10th, and Mark will be in 8th place after that. I didn't pick that up myself, but that's going to hand an even bigger gap to Damien Horgan ahead of David Broderick, and now 3rd position, number 188, Conor McCarthy. So that is 5 laps to go with the completion of this one, as Damien Horgan has a lonely battle into 7A and 7B. Safely out and back up the rise into Burns Bends chicane.
And you can see the big gap back to David Broderick. Really, it's, you know, with the loss of and those jump start penalties and the loss of Andrew Murphy, it really has made it quite a spaced out race. Very, you know, it's just very spread out. That's all the best thing that we can say about this one, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it hasn't stopped Damien Horgan from keeping the pressure on and keeping the race pace up. He'll want to get back, obviously, and get prepared for his Superbike race, which will be after lunch, the first race after the lunch break. So Damien Horgan does complete lap 3 with 4 left to go, and still has the fastest lap of the race as we wait for.
Certainly won't be any doubt about that, and he did the lap record yesterday evening. And you know, you're speaking there about, you know, pace and this, that, and the other. But it's hard when you've been going at race pace all season, and I mean, that's when you make a mistake. If you back it off, you try and back it off and say, I don't need to go as quick here, don't need to go as quick there, and it does result in little tiny mistakes. So sometimes the best solution to all of this is just ride it like the best way you know, and keep it that way. And certainly very smooth, Damien Horgan. He's been so consistent all year, and he is just disappearing from our view in the control tower to over Kennedy's Rise, around the left-hander of Lola, and there he goes away on his merry way to what looks like another almost bolted on win in the 400 class for Damien Horgan at this stage.
Yeah, he's never been off the podium apart from the rounds that he missed, 10, 11 and 12. So I mean, he's really made this class his own, right in that FZR 400 RR. And again, he wanted to save his energy for the Superbike race that will be coming up just after lunch as well. So we'll be approaching half race distance shortly as we look at the riders exit Maxus turn 1, and that's number 103 David Broderick, who's not second on the road but second in the race after those 2 jump penalty 20-second jump start penalties have been applied to Roy Wurst and Mark Sheridan. So David Broderick second in standings, and Conor McCarthy is third on he's on an FZR 400 Yamaha also.
Yeah, race leader Damien Horgan across the line again there, and we watch out for the second. There's Damien through Max's turn 1, and you watch the view down the main straight, and then we're picking up Damien Horgan again through Campion's corner turn 2, and away up to turn 3, as only now is the second place on the road Mark Sheridan coming across the line, but he actually isn't in that position. We just shall see it rejig as the rest of the riders come through, and Mark Sheridan's 20-second jump start penalty is applied, so it does confirm that David Broderick is still there in second place, albeit 28 seconds adrift of Damien Horgan. Then Conor McCarthy, the man from Waterfall in County Cork. Conor back racing again the previous couple of rounds, and he's running there in third place on his 400 Yamaha. So there's Damien Horgan just disappearing over Kennedy's Rise, and we pick him up around Lola, the right-hander of Lola, with just 2 laps remaining at the end of this one. This will complete lap 5 for Damien, and textbook riding from him, absolutely spot on, and hasn't got anything wrong at all this year, really. He's been phenomenal, and he really has been from start to finish, despite a kind of a mid-season attack by Andrew Murphy, who took a couple of rounds from Damien and made it look like it might be a very interesting finale, but unfortunately for Andrew, it's ended not the way he quite wanted to, even though the championship has been decided. But I know Andrew thinks there's a bit more in this 400, and I'm sure more to come from him next season.
Hopefully so. He missed the first couple of rounds, so potentially between 60 and 75 points, so that would have put him back into contention and put Damien Horgan under a lot of pressure. So it'd be nice to see that if Andrew Murphy did decide to come back in 400 class next year and completed all the 18 rounds, then he'll be in a great position to challenge for that title.
There's our race leader across the line, Damien Horgan, and you can see the full length of the main straight and a lot more in hand for Damien Horgan. If he stopped for a cup of tea out the countryside and a bun, and maybe a scone on a Sunday morning, I think he'd still win the race, Andy, at this rate. There's Mark Sheridan running second on the road, but he has that 20-second jump start penalty to be considered. We'll have a little look at what's behind him here, as we should pick up Conor McCarthy. Let's get a look at Conor McCarthy there, number 188, who should be running there in third place, certainly up to second place now ahead of Conor Broderick.
He's got ahead of David Broderick there, somewhere in the back section that we missed.
Yeah, so Conor McCarthy up into second place, but he is now 34 seconds in arrears of our race leader Damien Horgan. Just shows you the pace of Damien. And you know, a rather depleted 400 fields for the very final round. It's a pity, and but I mean that's what's in front of us, ladies and gentlemen, and we can't change that. We do our best to let you know what's happening. There's Conor McCarthy just out of your view. That's David Broderick there in third place, I think it was, and Pete Doherty also in the picture there.
Yeah, that red and yellow Honda 400 103. That is David Broderick. Pop back to third position, but still a couple of corners left to mount another challenge, and he does. Heads back out into Lola corner, has a look up the inside, and I think he's made it stick.
Oh dear, what's no, it didn't quite make it, I don't think, Andy. Oh dear, I don't know what went on there. We kind of lost the view of it, but yeah, here's Conor McCarthy now running in second place, 188. Conor McCarthy, as pleasant a man you will not, as a more pleasant man you won't meet in the race paddock, Conor McCarthy, and always there giving a hand out with all different competitors, all the bikes, never far away from a motorbike, tinkering with them and giving lads advice and help and everything, and well able to negotiate his way around Mondello Park here. Running in second place, Conor McCarthy from Waterfall, just outside of Cork City there, down in the capital county, Andy.
Very good. More prestigious address you won't come across. Yeah, so Damien Horgan still leads this with the fastest lap. Between himself and Conor McCarthy, they're the only two riders that nip around the 2 minutes or under.
There's Mark Sheridan. He's second on the road, and he's aware that penalty has been applied as Conor McCarthy gets across the line. Let's just see where Mark Sheridan is running at the moment now. He made probably around 7th or 8th position, despite that 20-second penalty. I think he will hold on to 5th there, actually. We shall see as the next rider gets across the line. And does it relegate him back? It doesn't, in fact. So Mark Sheridan, despite that 20-second penalty, still running in 5th place.
Yeah, but Damien Horgan still pulling 5 or 6 seconds a lap on everyone else, doing a 1:54. The nearest competitor to him is Conor McCarthy, whose last lap was a 2:01. So a huge margin for Damien Horgan.
Yellow flags here at turn 4, Andy. I think we have a yellow flag at turn 4. Not sure what's happened there, as Conor McCarthy negotiates it safely.
That could be Conor McCarthy who actually ran into the gravel.
No, it's not, Andy. In fact, it's somebody else, because the flag was waving as he entered. That's another rider.
Doherty, perhaps?
Not sure. It was somebody, possibly a back marker. But there's our race leader, and they up into Southside Motor Factors for the final time. It is Damien Horgan, the 2022 Moto 400 champion, does it in style with a 40-second lead, could stop for a cup of tea and a fag, and puts the hand up and still win the race. Brilliant stuff. Well done, Damien Horgan. Excellent 2022 for Damien Horgan and the Moto 400 champion. The final time you see him this year, ladies and gentlemen. Show me your appreciation there in the stand at Campions. Give him a round of applause. Brilliant performance from him all year round. Damien Horgan from Louth, ladies and gentlemen. Well done, Damien. We're waiting on second place on the road. That's Mark Sheridan, who actually will finish in 5th place. And there he is. Here he is coming up into Southside Motor Factors now. In behind him is Conor McCarthy from Cork. I think it certainly is. Conor should finish there in second place. There's Mark Sheridan, is not going to get second place because the 188 of Conor McCarthy will take the second step of the podium. Well done, Conor. Mark Sheridan showing up in third, but it's going to be in third place. David Broderick gets up ahead of Pete Doherty to take that third step of the podium in the Moto 400 class. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Damien Horgan is down there, and for the final time, he takes the top step of the podium this year in the Moto 400 class. Well done, Damien. Second place will go to who I'm sure will be an absolutely delighted Conor McCarthy, and third place does indeed go to David Broderick on the 400 Honda. So well done, lads. And yeah, Conor McCarthy is getting turned into the winner's enclosure. Yeah, get in there, Conor. He's shaking the head. He's not sure. In you go. Second place, pal. Well done.
Pleasantly surprised. I think that would be David Broderick, number 103. He's riding past, but I think he's going to have to turn around and come back if he wants to collect his podium presentation. Maybe he doesn't even know. Yeah, he's just been informed that he was third, so he's going to have to.
You see, Mark Sheridan was ahead of these lads on the road. They're not sure that they actually got the podium, but certainly so. 188, get in there, Conor. Second place, and third place goes to young Broderick, David Broderick.
Yeah, 103.
So you can get yourselves into the winner's enclosure there, lads. David Broderick in third place, Conor McCarthy in second. Well done, Conor, from us all here in the tower. And another great victory for Damien Horgan with some victory of, let me just tell you, Damien, 46 seconds. Could have stopped for the Sunday newspapers and still had time to win it. So well done. Well done, Damien. And Fergus Brennan is down there waiting in the wings to present the prizes for the podiums in the Moto 400 class. So not quite ready yet, not quite ready. We see Maxus have one of their vehicles in situ down there at the podium. It all looks very, very smart from up here, Fergus, I have to say. The Maxus Delivery 9 van is there, and in front of the Dunlop Masters podium for the presentation of, and we're just waiting on Fergus to get into place. Has his microphone. I think you're ready to go, Fergus. Yep. So for the moment, we shall hand over to Fergus Brennan and the podium presentations for the Moto 400 class. Fergus.
Yeah, that's the Moto 400 Championship finish for the season. A very early finish on the day for them, just one race today. So the last of our Moto 400 action. So this is our last podium. We've got some championships to give out, or we've got the race awards to give out, and we also have the Southern Star Awards, which is for a mini championship, which has been running over the last two rounds of the Masters. So we're going to be looking for Andrew Murphy, I think. Is that right? I have to be guided as who to the top three. Is it Andrew Murphy who's second? We're looking for Andrew Murphy to the podium, please. He isn't in the top three in this race, but we need him for the championship presentation. So we'll just move to one side and we'll call up the riders in the usual reverse order. And in third place, it's David Broderick. David, not sure what to do, hasn't been up here before.
I don't know what to do.
And in second place, Conor McCarthy. Think another newcomer to our podium, not 100% sure. And then our winner, and he's definitely not a newcomer to the podium, Damien Horgan, our 2022 Dunlop Masters Moto 400 champion. Had a great battle all season with Andrew Murphy. Unfortunately, Andrew didn't make the end of that race, so didn't score any points in that last race. So we're going to have a quick word with David Broderick. David, hey, you're a bit worn out.
That was hard work. Look, I was hungry for it. Sam, there you go.
Well, you can't get a better way to finish the season than getting on the podium.
Absolutely amazing. I can't thank Andrew and Sam enough for all their help during the year. Mike Sheridan, special shout out to Peter Doherty for getting all these 400s together. Amazing year. Can't thank everybody enough. Amazing. Thanks so much.
Okay, well done. Moving on to Conor. Conor again, I'm not sure if I've spoken to you on this podium before. No, I don't think I have.
No, never happened, but today is good. Just to say thanks to Ben, Milan, Donald, Donovan, Viola.
All the Cork crew.
All the Cork crew. Thank you.
Well done to Conor getting up on his first podium and hop down here, our 2022 champion. Damien, you didn't have your usual sparring partner there, but you had the championship won anyway.
Yeah, unfortunately Andrew crashed out in Tarzan 1, Tarzan 2. It was a pity. I was hoping to have a good run with him, and it would have been a good run. He was just unfortunate to go down. But yeah, we had a good day yesterday, so we had to wrap it up yesterday. So happy with that. It was Yeah, it was tough going, you know.
Well, we have another award to give out, so we're going to cut that one short there. We might have award again in a second. Thanks to our top 3 in the race, I'm just going to check if we can get the results of if Eamon Medler could come over to us and tell us what the results are of the... what's the results of the Southern Star? Do we need to keep any of these guys?
Damien Hogan, we need to keep, and Andrew Murphy and Mark Sheridan.
Yeah, so we're looking for Andrew Murphy and Mark Sheridan. You two lads can move on now. Damien, you're going to stay with us.
All right. You get a photo of the 3 of us. Yeah.
So if we can have Andrew Murphy and Mark Sheridan to the podium, please, quick as they can. So the Southern Star is an award that's been given out by the Motorcycle Union of Ireland Southern Centre, and it's to our championship that's run over the last 2 events. And I see we have Mark Sheridan here, so I'm going to stand to one side. Damien, you stand to one side with me as well. And Eamon Medler is going to present the awards to Mark Sheridan in 3rd place. So this is just an award for the highest point scorers over the last 2 events of the season, and we have both. We have our 3rd place and we have our 2nd place. Andrew Murphy, come on up here, Andrew. And Damien, hop back up there onto 1st place, and Eamon from the Motorcycle Union of Ireland Short Circuit Committee will present the awards for the mini championship. Our own awards will be presented on the 11th of November in the Osprey Hotel in Naas. So we'll have a quick word. We've had a word with all of these guys during the year. Mark, that wasn't what you were looking for the finish, unfortunately, a jump start.
Did I?
That's why you weren't on the podium.
Okay.
But a good year anyway.
Yeah, good year. Yeah. People to thank Slane Maguire there. Without him, keeps the whole show on the road. Noel Boyce, all the boys in Garage 3 and 4.
Okay, well done. Andrew, that was an unfortunate end to that. You were in a shout of winning the Southern Star, but unfortunately you went down, I think, or was it a mechanical?
No, I went down and Tars 1 and 2 just dropped the wheel off of the tar there. There was a little bit of a drop down, and unfortunately just lost the front, but as I said, going out like I was going to win it or bin it, and I binned it, so that's the way it goes.
Well, the other championship was all sorted. 2nd place in that. How do you feel about that?
Oh, no, it was great whole year now. With some great battles there with Damien, like broke lap records, and I think we've really brought the class up again, like, you know, so hopefully we'll have a couple of more lads on the grid next year, so we'll see.
Okay, great. Thanks very much, Andrew. Damien, we've already had a word with you, but just a quick word on winning the Southern Star. It's great to get 2 awards in one weekend, isn't it? 2 championships.
Oh yeah, it's lovely to get it. Absolutely lovely to get it. But I want a few thank yous. Big thank you to Andrew for the crack all year. It was like he raised me up, you know what I mean, with the lap times. So big thank you to him, and thank you to all my crew and Janet and Wes. Wes isn't here today, but yeah, couldn't have done without them all. It's been great.
And now on out onto the Superbike.
Yeah, we've 2 runs out in the Superbike now this afternoon, so yeah.
Well, good luck with that. Thanks very much to our top 3 in the Southern Star Championship, Mark Sheridan, Andrew Murphy and Damien Horgan. And we're going to hand back over now to James and Andy for commentary on our next race.
Yeah, thanks very much, Fergus. Well done, Damien, again, picking up his championship win for the Moto 400 class. So we turn our attention now to another undecided championship, which is the Classic Superbikes. And on pole position is Derek Wilson, who has a 12-point margin ahead of, let me see, is it Alan Tierney. So alongside Derek on the grid is the 600 pre-injection champion Noel Dunn Jr., number 92. And to his left from the fastest time yesterday is number 68, Ian Prendergast. Row 2 consists of Terry Bradley, number 26, on that yellow R6. Over his left shoulder is Jake Green, and completing row 2 is Owen Levy. Michael Prendergast, number 21 on the Fireblade, is top of row 3. Alongside Liam Dunn, Darrod Sharkey, number 45, is 9th on the grid. Nick Healy is 10th. Vincent Long, 11th. And Kenneth O'Gorman, 12th. Completing row 4 of the pre-injection and Classic Superbikes grid. So they're out on their sighting lap now before they take their grid positions ahead of this 7-lap race Interesting decider for Derek Wilson, who's been strong all this weekend, James. So wonder will he be able to eat into that?
Yeah, let's be honest.
Lead.
Andy, Derek Wilson is always strong at Mondello Park. Superb rider. Turned 50 this year. He's out in the classic Superbike. He's virtually unbeatable on it. The only one able to rub handlebars with him really was Chris Campbell from a few seasons back. Chris from Belfast, who used to come down in that immaculately turned out ZXR 750 as well in the team green colours. Alan Tierney leads the championship by 12 points. Derek Wilson missed the last round because of the Manx Grand Prix, and we certainly know only because of that he certainly would already have this championship wrapped up, I have no doubt. But take nothing away from Alan Tierney. He leads the championship. He's been here for the rounds that mattered, and he's the championship leader by 12 points. So Derek Wilson will, I mean, let's call a spade a spade. I'd be very, very surprised if he doesn't win this race outright. And it's just a matter of where Alan Tierney finishes on that classic Superbike.
He's going to need, from my thinking, it's going to be 4th place or better in the Superbike class. So
yeah, so I think he actually
points, so
he actually finished runner-up in the classic Superbike yesterday, and there aren't a whole huge amount of them out here. He is way back down in 13th position on the grid. So Barry, he's just going to have to mind himself around turn 1 and turn 2 on the opening lap or two. Alan Tierney just really has to mind himself, because there's a big gap between him and the next fastest classic Superbike rider. That's Jamie Nugent, who qualified there in 17th position. So and a lot of pre-injection bikes in the mix here, but certainly we will be watching out for Derek Wilson and see what he can do, and keep an eye out for Alan Tierney. He is the 983 newcomer. He's riding a Honda Fireblade. He's down in 13th position on the grid. 983, there he is with the orange bib. I can see him quite clearly down through the grid there, and he looks at his championship rival, makes his way up to that pole position. Derek Wilson, the very, very experienced, superb rider. Derek Wilson in that pole position on that beautiful ZXR 750 Kawasaki. They're away, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it gets away nicely, so let's watch what happens as they all try to take the same spot into turn 1, but he does that nicely out of Maxus under the watchful eye of Noel Dunn Jr. and Ian Prendergast, number 68 on the R6, of course, running a completely different championship. But Derek Wilson is nicely done. He's got 3 or 4 bike length lead already as they go into turn 3 for the first time. Double apex, that positive camber. Tricky corner, especially on your first lap on maybe cold tires. It's 18 degrees here indicated on the screen, but you factor in a little wind chill on top of that, it's going to be quite tricky. Turn 4 Bridgestone it's the lead for Derek Wilson still from Ian Prendergast, again the pre-injection 600 second ahead of Noel Dunn Jr. And let's just see if we can pick up where Alan Tierney is, the championship leader.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait till the end of lap 1, I think, Andy, just to confirm it, and see exactly where he is, because a good bit way down the road now. He is in a lot of 600 traffic, I think. Oh, and a bit of a move on there through 7A and 7B, and that may have been Jake Green, pre-injection R6, yeah, coming through, and with the white helmet, I think it is, as Derek Wilson peels into Bahrain Benz for the first of 7 laps, and right in behind him is Noel Dunn Jr., the pre-injection champion for 2022.
Yeah, he's wrapped that championship up nicely, but he still wants to win and be first past the flag, so he doesn't need to be competing at this level, but again, the racer in him is keeping him interested.
Oh, Jake up the inside. This looks, oh dear me, what a lunge on the brakes by, it was in fact, it is indeed.
That's Terry Bradley with Ian Prendergast,
yeah.
And the 3600 riders are having their own little dice there as they come out of Max's corner turn 1. Terry Bradley up the inside of turn 2. I haven't seen that move in quite a while, but he's made it last.
Yeah, really some interesting moves there from Terry Bradley, and looking out for the next classic Superbike on track, and looking for the machine of Alan Tierney, and he is there in 9th position, Andy, on the road, so he looks safe in that championship quest. So we'll just keep an eye out for him on the road. 3 and 3.6 riders through 7, 8, 9. Alan Tierney
Yeah,
should be next. There he is. There's Alan Tierney through Bridgestone turn 4 now. As we watch this gaggle of riders led by Alan Wilson, and it's getting exciting here at the head of things. Noel Dunn Jr., Terry Bradley on a mission, has to be said. Look at him on the brakes again into 7A. Wonderful stuff from Terry Bradley. And that last time around into Southside Motor Factors, I thought may end in tears. He looked as though he was actually too late on the brakes, but he managed to get it stopped and didn't bump into anyone on the way. Brilliant stuff from Terry Bradley. But Derek Wilson not getting away from the 600s here, Andy.
No, you would think that the extra horsepower of the ZXR 650 would pay a few dividends, but maybe it's just the competitiveness of the 600 guys that are behind him are pushing harder. But to be fair to Derek, all he can do about this championship is keep his nose clean and finish the race where he is. There's no point in going any quicker than he absolutely needs to.
Yeah, it's brilliant stuff. This is a good race that we've seen in this class all season. Derek Wilson leads it from Noel Dunn Jr., the 600 champion. The two champions appropriately across the line first. Ian Prendergast, in fact, they're in second place. Ian Prendergast, they're in second with the fastest lap, 1 minute 48.607. So yeah, just getting just going to have a look at the championship standings in that pre-injection class if I can actually find them. Lots and lots of paperwork up here with us this morning, and we're trying to keep abreast of everything that's going on.
Yeah, it's been quite a while since we had so many championships to wrap up towards the end of the day. I mean, even this afternoon, we're still going to have, I think, another 6 championships to decide. Once this classic Superbike and pre-injection 1000 is complete, we'll still find a winner for Super Twins, Superbike Cup, and Super Sport Cup.
Yeah, so it's Ian Prendergast making the running here in the pre-injection class. In fact, my mistake saying that it was Noel Dunn. In fact, it's Ian Prendergast that's in the mix there with Derek Wilson at the head of things, then Terry Bradley, and then it's Noel Dunn Jr., the champion, running in 4th place. And in behind them, not too far away, is Owen Levy, then Jake Crean. So it's pretty open to the elements here, and Derek Wilson must be favourite here still, but Ian Prendergast would dearly love to have a go here. Ian, of course, the former, I think, champion here in the pre-injection class as well. So yeah, and there he is, right up in behind Derek Wilson into Maxus turn 1. Again they go, and now have completed 3 laps of 7.
Yeah, Derek's doing his best here to keep out in front and stay away from the traffic at 600 boys. Alan Tierney is running second in the Superbikes, third in the Superbikes class, just behind Michael Prendergast, so that's going to give him 16 points from Derek's 25, so I think that's going to be enough for the moment. I think even 4th would be enough to secure the championship for Alan Tierney.
Yeah, he just really has to keep it all going here, Alan Tierney, for the championship win, as Derek Wilson can do nothing more than what he's doing at the moment. There is, looks as though that is Alan Tierney. Out of view of the camera into Bridgestone turn 4, but they're back with our race leader Derek Wilson, and Ian Prendergast certainly keeping him honest at the head of things, and Prendergast
fastest lap of the race for Ian Prendergast, so 600 is visibly and obviously quicker than the ZXR 750 of Derek Wilson, but Derek's still leading in front, so he's just going to get passed by Ian Prendergast. Maybe he's better off to let him go. It's not going to cost him any less than those 25 points that he's going to bag for a Superbike win. So maybe the best idea is to just let Ian Prendergast on his merry way and not get involved.
Yeah, but he's a racer too, and he doesn't like losing, especially to a 600. This ain't over by any stretch of the imagination. As Terry Bradley coming under a little bit of pressure now from Noel Dunn Jr. So a cracking battle here at the head of things. 3 pre-injection bikes, and Derek Wilson in the mix on his ZXR 750. The man from just outside of Cork City, also living down in Kilady in County Cork, Derek Wilson.
Yeah, he's mixed up in a bunch there. Maybe he's enjoying the battle as well, you know. a lot of the riders, they don't like to win by huge margins if there's the chance of having a dice with some of the other guys and enjoying the corners and the competition.
Watching out for our champion-elect. See, does he get across the line? Alan Tierney should be next across the line, and he does. In fact, he's been relegated down another 1 or 2 places, but still holding third in the classic Superbike class for the moment, so that will bring him safely home with a championship win. We'll keep an eye on that further down the field, but for the moment we're concentrating on the race leaders, which is where it's all happening. Terry Bradley having that battle with Noel Dunn Jr., and really that is turning into a battle supreme, and it's getting spread out now a little bit. Ian Prendergast stretching his lead ever so slightly over Derek Wilson, and Terry Bradley has still got the attention of Noel Dunn Jr., the pre-injection champion, in behind him. So it was a 4-way kind of a freight train, but it's got a little bit spread out now as we negotiate Bahrain's Bends, and next time around there will be just 2 laps remaining at the end of this one.
Yeah, having a look at the pre-injection 1000 class, Kenneth O'Gorman is leading that at the moment, and he's going to leapfrog Tom McAvoy, I think, and if that finishes the way it is at the moment, that will gift him the 1000cc pre-injection championship, who is currently being led by Tom McAvoy. Again, after all the rounds, there's only 1 point between the two. That's astonishing how tight it is, but it could come down to this last race 3 of the weekend for this classic Superbikes. Watching somebody run off in turn south side. Yeah, is he going to keep it going, or is he going to get it bogged? Trying. If we can pick up a number there, see who that is. He's in deep gravel, but yeah, steady away. He's kept it going. Check the shoulder. Don't rejoin just yet until you can see. Is that one of the Dunns? That's Noel Dunn Jr., I think, who's ran off in Southside Motor Factors.
Number 92. Yeah, it certainly was. 92, I think. I could see on the side of the yeah, it is Noel Dunn Jr. Was Noel Dunn Jr. in the gravel trap, but it managed to dig it out as we watch once again Mick Prendergast, the man from Carrick-on-Shore in County Tip, keeping Derek Wilson at bay on his ZXR 750 Classic Superbike. The gap just 2/10 on the previous lap. Next time around, the last lap flag will be getting prepared by our race officials down here below me. Derek Wilson,
fastest lap for Derek Wilson on that last lap as well, so he's responded to the 600 of Ian Prendergast. May not want to just try a manoeuvre with the championship still up for grabs, but Alan Tierney is running third in the Superbike series, and that is enough, I think, to take the championship.
Here he comes on the brakes, Andy. He's a racer. I did say this. He's a racer. He wants to win, and I don't think it's championships he's thinking about. Just wants that race win, and they're side by side down across the start-finish line. Wilson did run a little wide. We have a yellow flag at the approach to turn 1, so that's no passing allowed. Somebody in the gravel trap up there. So the flag's being certainly obeyed, but Wilson is back in the lead into turn 1 and around Campion's turn 2. So Derek Wilson, as I predicted, I said this race wasn't over, and true to form, the racing head of Derek Wilson, not willing to yield to the 600 of Mick Prendergast.
That was a very interesting situation where the yellow flag was out. So Derek Wilson made a manoeuvre on the entry into Southside Motor Factors and made it stick, but if with the yellow flag was being deployed, they would have had to go down the straight in the position that they were, so you couldn't make an overtaking manoeuvre. And we've seen riders not, adhering to that, but it was that could have developed into something else, So let's keep an eye on that waved yellow into turn 1, where there should be no overtaking. And if the yellow flag is still on the exit of turn 1, that means that there'll be no racing until the exit of turn 2. So
Alan Tierney is now back to 4th in the Classic Superbike. I'm not sure what that's going to do to the championship, Andy. I think he still has it at that.
I still think 13 points will be enough. I think that will mean the championship will go his way by +1. So all Derek Wilson needs to do is keep his head down.
Yeah, well, that's all he can do, and that's what he's going to do. A little bit of traffic to negotiate between here and the final 2 bends. We have Paddock corner to negotiate and Southside Motor Factors, and all Derek Wilson can do is finish it here and just wonder what's going to happen behind him. He's not sure. I don't think he's even thinking about that at the moment. Championships, he's had lots of them in his lifetime. I'm sure he'd dearly love another one, but he can only do what he's done and take the win here in the Classic Superbike event. Derek Wilson takes the win from Ian Prendergast in the 600 class. Then Terry Bradley across the line. Owen Levy should take 4th place. Has he gone missing? There he is now across the line. Owen Levy in 4th place. Jake Crean takes 5th.
We have a long way back to have a look for Classic Superbike rider Alan Tierney on the Honda Fireblade. He is just exiting Grand Bends at the minute. So there is Michael Prendergast taking 2nd position in the Superbike class. Next up we should have a group of 4 pre-injection riders, and then a group after that we should see Alan Tierney. So again, we think he's riding 4th at the moment. I think this is him exiting Southside Motor Factors.
Vincent Long takes the flag, then Michael Carr, Richard Hyland, Seamus Freeman, Noel Dern. Alan Tierney does get 3rd place in the Classic Superbike event, so Alan Tierney shall be crowned the Classic Superbike champion for 2022, just pipping Derek Wilson, but Derek takes the win, by 2.29 of a second from Ian Prendergast. 3rd place was Terry Bradley, Owen Levy 4th, Jake Crean 5th, Michael Prendergast 6th, Liam Dunn in 7th, Vincent Long 8th, 9th place Michael Carr, and completing the top 10, Richard Hyland. So Fergus Brennan will be making his way over to what's a very busy podium. He has a Classic Superbike podium, he has a pre-injection 600 podium and a pre-injection 1000 podium to deal with. Good luck with that, Fergus.
Yeah, Kenneth O'Gorman was first home in the pre-injection 1000 class, so I think that's going to leapfrog him from Tam McAvoy to take the pre-injection 1000 championship win. So yeah, a lot of mathematics to be done before the final presentations of 2023 for this pre-injection 600 class, the pre-injection 1000cc class, and indeed what we just watched, the Classic Superbikes as well. So with that, we'll hand over to Fergus Brennan for these presentations of the 3 classes.
Our first Classic Superbike and pre-injection podium of the day, and we're going to get straight into it and call up in 3rd place Owen Levy. Second place Terry Bradley. This is actually the final pre-injection and Classic Superbike race of the championship. It's their last one of the day, first and last one of the day, and the winner on his return to the championship is Ian Prendergast. Well, Owen, up on the podium again to finish the season off.
Oh yeah, sure, it's grand. Get up here just to finish it off, you know, finish and try and do the same next year, see what happens.
Well, obviously you need to be aiming to go a couple of steps higher.
Yeah, just try and push a little bit more and try not to fall off as much next year and see what happens.
Okay, well, you've had a good season, well done. Terry, you're back on the podium to finish the season off.
Well, that's only the 10th race I've done. I missed 8, and I just secured 3rd in the championship with that race. So I'm over the moon.
Okay, well done. Your Matt's head is better than mine, so well done on that.
No, I was in there. I'd just like to say thanks to all my sponsors, Tozzy, Trevor from Moto for You, Darren from Bike to Bike, yourself, all the staff, the medical staff, the lovely Sheila, Terry, Nobby, Eamon, Jackie as well. There's loads for me, my own team, all the kids and all that come and help when I can't, and me better half, she's over there doing lap times, making food, doing pit boards, tyre warmers, you name it. So
It's a massive team effort.
And Pat, he had to go this morning, his young fellas do motocross. So he had to go this morning. So thanks, bro. It's all for you.
Well done, Terry. Hop down there, Ian. We're not going to have any time to talk to you at all now, but I know you're not that keen on it anyway.
I know, yeah.
You've only just come back and you're back on the top step.
Yeah, it's great. I was slow starting there all weekend, but I'm back up to pace now. But I just want to thank Paddy Corn, Tommy Gammon, Atlantic View Mobile Home, Tony Welch, my partner Kate, and Mick, and all the lads that help us. And to Mad Mick, I hope he recovers soon.
Okay, well, thanks very much to our top three in the pre-injection class.
The championship setup was brilliant. Dropping the round was great because I was able to drop one, but then I had to drop another one due to not being here. It's a great setup and a great format, so I look forward to going again next year.
Thanks very much for that, Terry. We do our best here. We're going to move on to the classic superbikes, and in third place, see if we got our third place here. Is our third place man here? Alan Tierney. Come on up. I haven't done the maths yet. Could be the champion. Maybe he's done the maths and he can tell me. So Alan's making his way up. In second place, we have Michael Prendergast. The other Prendergast brother also returning this weekend. And then our winner, Derek Wilson. But before we do that, we just got to invite one more man up onto the championship, Kenneth O'Gorman, our pre-injection 1000 winner. So we're going to grab him up here very quickly, and then we'll have a word with the other lads. Kenneth, as quick as you can. Sorry for hurrying you. We'll get you up here. And pre-injection 1000 champion. Very quick, because we're running out of time. We've got to get to the Super Sport grid. Well done, Kenneth. Hope you had a good year.
Yeah, no, it was a great year. Coming into this weekend, I was 11 points behind, so I had to get to 3 races. So I won that by 4 points. So delighted with it. Well done, boys.
Oh, thanks, Kenneth. Now, do you know, are you the champion?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that then. Well done to our 2022 Classic Superbike champion, Alan Tierney.
Thanks. Just like to thank my team manager over at it, my young lad, and Stevie for all the advice through the year, and all the friends and family, and everyone organising the marshal as well.
Okay, thanks very much, Alan. These are going to be very quick. We've got to get over to the grid. We're very stuck for time after our delays earlier. Michael, welcome back.
Thanks, yeah, no, I needed to run out before winter set in, so I know I enjoyed the racing today. Bit off the pace, couldn't even see Derek, but look, I enjoyed it anyway, so happy days.
And we see you back next year?
Oh yeah, I'm going to plan, yeah, definitely, yeah.
Okay, great to see you back. Derek, another man, great to see you back. Class rider, lovely bikes. We're delighted to have you back.
Yeah, I had a choice this weekend. Barry Gill gave me his RC30 to try out, but as it happens, the Kawasaki was 2 seconds a lap quicker. It's brilliant to see Michael and Ian there gave me a fair run for it in the last 2 laps, so I think we passed each other 3 or 4 times in the second last lap. Great racing, and that's what I enjoy about racing, is a bit of mixing up and good laps and good safe riding, so delighted.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Derek. Thanks very much to Alan, our new champion. Give him a big round of applause, and also Michael Prendergast. Sorry, I'm forgetting about our we're going to need to call it. Who do we need? Can we have Alan Tierney, Noel Dunn, and Robin Heathcote? Alan Tierney, Noel Dunn Senior or Junior? Noel Dunn Senior. Noel Dunn Senior. Come on, Noel, he's arrived. Come on, get up here, Noel. Get up here, Noel. We need you. And Robin Heathcote. And this is the awards for the Southern Star. Come on, hurry it up, hurry it up. We don't need Noel Dunn Jr. just yet. Just yet. So we're going to quickly give out the Southern Stars and then get ourselves to the Super Sport grid if we can for some interviews. So Eamon's going to present. No interviews for this one. We won't talk to you, Noel. You'll be all right. So our top 3 in the Southern Star Championship, Robin Heathcote in 3rd, Noel Dunn Senior in 2nd, and Alan Tierney taking his 2nd championship win. Well done to Alan, 2 championships in 1 season, thanks to our top 3 in Classic Superbikes. And we still have more to do. That's it. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We've still got more to do.
All the marshals again today. One perfect.
Good man. Noel always remembers the marshals. And then our final presentation this time around is for the pre-injection Southern Star Championship. So we could have the top 3. If Eamon could tell me who our top 3 are in that, please, that would be great. Eamon? Top 3? Noel Dunn Jr., Terry Bradley and Liam Dunn, please, to the podium. Coming out Noel, Terry, Noel and Terry. Come on, Noel, up you get. And we're looking for Liam. Liam is making his way around as well. So we've got nearly everybody for our final presentation, but it looks like we've missed the grid interviews on the grid with the Super Sports because of all of this going on. But sure, isn't it great to have these boys up here as well? Have you got them in the right order, Eamon? Fair play to Eamon. He's managed to work out the southern stuff. He's managed to work out the points really quickly and get this done on the podium. So well done to Liam Dunn, Terry Bradley again, and Noel Dunn Jr., who has also, we wanted to talk to him about it, but he didn't finish in the top 3 today, normally wins the races. Our 2022 Masters pre-injection 600 champion, Noel Dunn. Now, we've been so long here that we won't have time to do any interviews on the grid, so I'm going to hand straight back to James and Andy. No, we've nothing, Terry, sorry. And back to James and Andy for our first Super Sport race of the day.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back with the action on track, and they're opening Super Sport race of the day out on their warm-up lap. Thanks to Fergus Brennan for the podium presentations. The Southern Star Awards are taking place down there as well at the moment, so well done, Fergus. A lot to deal with down there. 3 separate classes and 3 separate championships dealt with very professionally by Fergus Brennan. Well done, Fergus. He's under pressure, shaking the head down there in the paddock, but you're doing a great job, Fergus. And we all care up here, we really do. Here's the grid for the Super Sport race. Johnny Campbell in pole position from Josh Elliott, champion-elect, who has that lead of 28 points over Emmett O'Grady, his nearest rival, in 3rd position on the grid. 2nd row of the grid, Scott McCrory in 4th, Dean Lacey there in the middle of the 2nd row, and Jason Floody completes the 2nd row of the grid. Jack O'Grady, Super Sport Cup Championship leader, in 7th on the grid from Darryl Sharkey, and then Sean Brawley in 9th position. Kevin Keys has qualified there in 10th position, but Kevin Keys is not out here. I know he's not, he's an absentee from that position. Jack Worthy and Gary Riley complete row 4 here in the opening Super Sport race of the day, and what could be another championship decider, Andy. 28 points the gap for the man at the head of things. It is indeed Josh Elliott there, he's first back to us. Johnny Campbell having a brilliant run and ride yesterday, not quite able to match the pace of Josh Elliott, but he was very close.
Yeah, certainly was, and well deserved of that pole position for this 2nd Super Sport race of the afternoon, of the morning, or weekend even. Yeah, so Johnny is well placed to be on P1 there, but it's going to be a 3-way battle, I would think, between Johnny, AJ Carey, or Josh Elliott, number 84, and number 8, Emmett O'Grady. So clean getaway is going to be vital here.
Yeah, certainly, and we watch very keen Josh Elliott. He knows it's all in the line here, just getting all the heat into those tires on that warm-up lap, and they're coming under starters orders. We watch the lights, and the lights go out, and away they go. Flying start from Johnny Campbell, brilliant stuff from him. Emmett O'Grady unable to get that R6 off the line as cleanly as he would have liked, but it's going to be a battle royale here, and it certainly is. Who's in that lead, Andy? Just trying to pick him up.
Scott McCrory that's got
I think
away.
it is from the 2nd row of the grid. Scott McCrory, number 20, and then it's Johnny Campbell. Then it certainly is Josh Elliott in 3rd place, and Emmett O'Grady running in 4th at the moment. The man he needs to, there he is up the inside already of Josh Elliott, and Emmett O'Grady laying down the marker very early here, Andy.
Yeah,
look at this into turn 4. It's Johnny Campbell. It certainly is. Johnny Campbell has the lead, ladies and gentlemen. Brilliant stuff from him indeed. He is lit on the way up Kennedy's Rise and around Lola. They negotiate now, so Johnny Campbell has that early lead. Cracking action already in the opening half lap of this Super Sport race.
Exactly what you want to see in these Super Sport guys. So Johnny Campbell has got away. He's established a very small margin lead from the AKR Racing, Alex Knowles Racing bike CBR 600 of Josh Elliott, number 84, in second. Scott McCrory's had a great start as well, got off the second row and is now putting under pressure Emmett O'Grady, who of course doesn't need that. He needs to try and bite into that 28-point advantage that Josh Elliott has in the series, but it's not going all his way just at the moment. So they're into 7A, 7B and out of Brands Bend and back into Paddock Bend. It's Johnny Campbell still leads from Josh Elliott, number 84, into Southside Motor Factors, ahead of Emmett O'Grady, and in fourth place Scott McCrory.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye on everything, but Johnny Campbell threw that dust from the earlier incident. No fear there. Johnny Campbell obviously with the opening fastest lap. And but watch Josh Elliott, ladies and gentlemen, because he's like a fine wine. He gets better with age, and the further he goes, the faster he gets. Josh Elliott will not be finished here at all. Will want to do this championship in style. Emmett O'Grady is still in touch there, but knows he's fighting a somewhat losing battle. But you know, Andy, I really wonder, do these riders, are they actually thinking about championships? It's the race, and it's what's in front of you and what you're being dealt with right in front of your eyes. I think championship kind of goes out the window now.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there that, you know, if there's a bike in front of them, they want that out of the way and get the clear track in front of them so they can do their absolute best. And whatever happens in the championship, you can't do better than winning each race or doing as best as you can within each race to maximise your point advantage. I mean, Josh Elliott will be well aware that the 20 points he has for second place at the minute will be enough to secure the championship, but he'll want to get past Johnny Campbell, as you said, and get in that top step for race 2 of the Dunlop Super Sport race of the weekend.
Absolutely, and just looking at the Super Sport Cup battle, Dean Lacey in 18 points behind Jack O'Grady in the championship, but has the lead at the moment in the Super Sport Cup class, leads it from Jack O'Grady by 1 second at the end of that opening lap. So it's all very interesting, can close that gap, and that will go on to the final round. If it stays like that, it'll reduce the gap down to 13 points. But Johnny Campbell, any ideas that Josh Elliott had of winning this from the front? Johnny Campbell certainly is going to do his best to make sure he's going to work for it. Brilliant stuff from Johnny Campbell. And I just spotted there his dad giving him a big hug there just before the start of the race. I love seeing things like that. Fantastic stuff, the father and son combination. It's just great to see it, Andy.
Yeah, it's what it's all about. I mean, good competitive nature, of course. But yeah. So Johnny Campbell, fastest lap of the race with a 1:42. It leads Josh Elliott, not a lot in half a second, and then 0.8 of a second back from the first and second is Emmett O'Grady, and that won't be enough to do anything for his title hopes.
Dean Lacey now has a 2.2 second lead over Jack O'Grady there. Dean Lacey running in 5th place, a good bit back behind Scott McCrory. He's some 4 seconds behind Scott McCrory, but he has a 2.2 second advantage over championship leader Jack O'Grady. So the Super Sport Cup class looks like it's going to go right to the wire, Andy, for the final round this afternoon if it stays like this.
Yeah, that's going to eat into the margin that Jack O'Grady has to kind of try and maintain, and it's going to bring it down to 13, maybe 12 points. Taking a look,
13 points I think will be, Andy, if it stays as it is.
As you said, it's going to make all the difference.
Back with the leaders here
race this afternoon.
Yeah, Johnny Campbell still leading it around Devaney's. He comes, the long left-hander of Devaney's, in the drop down to Paddock Bend. Beautiful shot of the exit of Devaney's there, and there is somewhat in the distance now Emmett O'Grady, but the race leader Johnny Campbell gets a little bit of a slide on the exit of Paddock Bend, but holds it all together nice, and they're well used to this. Josh Elliott is holding on there. Let's get a look at these lap times. They're dropping, ladies and gentlemen. Johnny Campbell, another fastest lap for him, 1:42.520. Josh Elliott, 1:42.529. So 9/100ths of a second the difference in the lap times there, Andy. There's absolutely nothing in it here between these two front men.
Yeah, exactly. It's a nip and tuck in the early stages of this 8-lap race with 5 laps still to go. Johnny Campbell has the small advantage over Josh Elliott on that AKR Racing Alex Knowles CBR 600RR. Emmett O'Grady in 3rd position on the R6 Yamaha, followed by Scott McCrory also on the AKR Racing Alex Knowles Racing CBR 600 also in 4th. And then again, as we mentioned, the Cup battle between Dean Lacey and Jack O'Grady that Dina Lacey holds the advantage of at the moment. As we watch the riders come out of Daly's drift. Still Johnny Campbell from Josh Elliott, number 84.
Yeah, down into 7A. They come hard on the brakes. Josh Elliott just letting him off, and beautiful, beautiful lines from both riders through 7A and 7B. Emmett O'Grady can only watch his championship disappear from behind, and that's exactly what he's got to do. Sometimes a bitter pill to swallow. Looked promising earlier in the year, but Josh Elliott came along to spoil the whole party, Andy.
Yeah, certainly did, and once he arrived on the scene, he wasn't long about establishing himself as one of the top riders in the series, and he's also replicated that form in the Superbikes as well, as he had limited experience on that Fireblade, was able to make it work almost straight away at the last round.
And I'm not sure he's finished here either, because you know what, he'd like to just do it in style. There's still a race to come this afternoon, but you know, as in the previous race with Derek Wilson in the Classic Superbikes, they're racers here and they want to win. And look at the style of Josh Elliott, hanging it all out on the exit of turn 1. Brilliant, brilliant stuff indeed. Johnny Campbell, the slight stocky figure of Johnny Campbell, a little ball of energy on that bike. He is Johnny Campbell, brilliant stuff. I remember him coming through the ranks, always had a great time chatting to him on the podium over the years, and this is fantastic to see, and really would be such a sweet, sweet victory if he can hold on here for his maiden Supersport victory.
Josh Elliott just closed a little bit there. The margin is down to 0.2 of a second, so very little between them, and still we're only coming up to half race distance in a minute. So as we head out towards the extra corners, 7A, 7B and Brands Bend. Let's watch them currently head through Daly's drift, but still Johnny Campbell just a little bit. Wonder, is Josh Elliott having a look to see maybe is there a weakness in Johnny Campbell?
He's just watching, Andy. He's just watching. Johnny Campbell's on, not far off lap record pace, and so of course Elliott is as well. So just watching and see what's what and what he can do. But mark my words, Josh Elliott will have a go here before the end of the race. And just sticks the wheel in there on the entrance to Devaney's and the drop down into Paddock Bend now, and just letting him know he's here. And Johnny, he's saying to himself, if you're going to win this, you're going to have to work for it. But of course, same goes for Josh Elliott, as Johnny Campbell looks smooth as you'd like into Southside Motor Factors. Brilliant stuff from this young man. I'm loving this, Andy.
Yeah, it's all you expect of a super sport ride, isn't it? Two riders showing each other the utmost respect, but it's coming down to the wire, and the gap is still at 0.02 of a second, almost identical lap times.
Yeah, 2/10 actually the gap, Andy, and a bit back to Emmett O'Grady. Let's get a look at the cup battle. Dean Lacey should be next across the line. There he is, the championship chaser, Dean Lacey. Then through comes Jack O'Grady, some 4.3 seconds in arrears, so that will certainly reduce the championship lead from 18 to 13 points for Jack O'Grady, who's running there in 6th position, I think. Johnny Campbell and Josh Elliott are the ones to watch. Elliott is so close now, ladies and gentlemen, as they get around Lola, with just 2 laps remaining at the end of this one. We're concentrating on some of the action a bit further down the field. Back with the leaders now on the exit of Lola. Onto Daly's drift they come. Josh Elliott looks fast on the Honda, but Johnny Campbell matching his every move. And it's pressure from this young man. A man at the top of his game back in 2014, Superstock British champion, Josh Elliott, and Johnny Campbell, the young pretender. There's a lot of pressure there, and you wonder what goes through the mind of these young men.
Definitely. I mean, but Johnny Campbell has responded to that pressure perfectly. He's hit every apex. His braking is absolutely spot on. There's very little performance margins between these 600cc bikes, so that's where the pressure is going to take its toll to make you force an error. And Josh Elliott is doing absolutely everything brilliant. But as I said, Johnny Campbell has responded brilliantly by doing everything that he can, by hitting all of his braking points and apexes as well.
They swing in by the pit wall to get a closer look at those pit boards, and it will tell them that there's nothing in it. 0.24 is the gap now. It's extended by 0.02 of a second. 0.24, it's a quarter of a second, ladies and gentlemen. It's a blink of an eyelid. That's what it is. That's the gap in this between Johnny Campbell and Josh Elliott, the 2 lads from Northern Ireland, leading out the Kerryman Emmett O'Grady, who is watching his championship disappear into the distance.
Jack O'Grady's involved in a dice with Jason Floody on that 6.75, and Floody got the advantage there past the tower, and just watched him coming out of Max's corner as the leaders head out of turn 4 Bridgestone. for
Yeah,
the penultimate time.
Jack O'Grady relegated back to third now in the Supersport Cup class, so that's another 4 points. He loses out to Dean Lacey if he can hold on. So I think the gap will be down to 9 points going into the final round as we concentrate on the battle for the lead with just a lap and a half to go. Johnny Campbell, can he do it? Can he hold on here for his maiden 600 victory over Josh Elliott? This is cracking stuff indeed. Brilliant to watch, and Johnny Campbell matching every move of Josh Elliott, but he's not finished yet, and I'm sure young Mr. Elliott will have something to say about this before the end of the race.
I'm not quite sure. He's hanging in there, but his title chances are on the level as well, so he should really just do the sensible thing and hand the win to Johnny Campbell and just hopefully wrap up the season before lunch.
Yeah, I don't know if you can really hand away a race victory, but it looks as though Johnny Campbell is matching him, and try as he might, I'm not sure if Josh Elliott has anything left in the tank. It's all very close into turn one for the final time they come, and hard on the brakes. Johnny Campbell, can he stop it? He does. Watch Josh Elliott hanging off that bike on the exit of turn one. Around Campion's turn two they go for the final time. Brilliant, brilliant stuff indeed. We're still waiting on the fourth place of Scott McCrory to come across the line. It does so now as the leaders peel into turn three for the final time. Can Josh Elliott, can he do anything about it? Does he want to do anything about it? That's the other side of it, you know?
Yeah, watching them coming over back into turn four, Bridgestone again, nip and tuck, very little. It's been 2/100 of a sec, 2/10 of a second for the last 3 laps. Absolutely identical from Josh Elliott and Johnny Campbell. An exhibition of a super sport race, I'd have to say.
Yeah, super. And make no doubt about it, if Josh Elliott gets an opportunity, he'll go for it. But I don't think he's going to take any unnecessary chances. But, you know, there's the gap. It has gapped a small bit. I think he may just be yielding to Johnny Campbell and say, okay, pal, it's yours, because the gap is significantly maybe 1 or 2 bike links more than it had been on the previous couple of laps. I'm not sure that Josh Elliott is really too. Yeah, that's it. I think he's given up on it. Johnny Campbell, well, he hold on. Josh Elliott closes in a bit through Devaney, so we shall see into Paddock Bend. No opportunity really at Paddock Bend, so it's going to be the braking into Southside Motor Factors for the final time. But I don't think Josh Elliott is going to be too bothered about it. Has a go on the brakes, lets him off late, and tries to square it off back up the inside of Johnny Campbell. Has he got a run? It's going to be very, very tight at the line. He's in the slipstream, but Johnny Campbell holds on to take his maiden victory in the 600 class. Brilliant stuff from Johnny Campbell. Josh Elliott second, Emmett O'Grady third, Andy. We have to keep an eye out for the Supersport Cup class battle, and Dean Lacey was in that 5th place, so we'll pick it up from there. I think Scott McCrory coming across the line now. Here he is, finishing in 4th place, and it should be Dean Lacey who does his championship.
Yeah, he's got
chances the world of good
great
here.
favour there. He's bagged the 25 points for the cup win, so we just have to wait and see where Jack O'Grady. And I think Jack O'Grady has just been pipped by Jason Floody.
Yeah, so that's 16 points for Jack O'Grady for 3rd place. Big burnout from Johnny Campbell there. But so 9 points off the championship lead by Dean Lacey, has managed to shave 9 points off that championship lead of Jack O'Grady. I think it's 9, yeah, so that will be a 9-point gap.
I wouldn't be surprised if that went to a photo finish, because depending on where the transponder is on the bike, it may indeed made that your transponder might indicate that you were Jason Floody was ahead of Jack O'Grady, but I think that will go down to a photo finish. Just look,
3/100ths of a second, 3/1000ths of a second.
Has to be a photo finish and have
we
to be reviewed.
We shall wait for the decision of the race control. But meanwhile, back down there, big congratulations for that young man there. Brilliant, brilliant stuff indeed. A cracking win for Johnny Campbell. Well done, young man. Getting all the hugs from the crew down there. Absolutely delighted for you, from us all here in the tower. It's been a bit of a road, but you're finally up there, the top step of the Supersport class. Johnny Campbell, ladies and gentlemen. Brilliant stuff indeed.
Yeah, an exhibition race. Never put a foot wrong, despite the advances of Josh Elliott, who we see putting on his championship winning t-shirt. Well done on the championship win on that AK Racing Alex Knowles CBR 600RR. So it's a welcome return to the championship for those guys, who of course had Scott McCrory on their second bike in 4th position. Now let's have a look at these Cup riders when they come back in to see what their rostrum positions are going to be. Again, the position of the transporter tells one story, but depending who crossed the line physically first tells another one. So it's going to be very, very interesting.
Well, still on my screen is Jason Floody showing up in 2nd place, but yeah, so well done, Dean Lacey, despite whatever happens for that 2nd and 3rd position. Dean Lacey has certainly closed the gap and brought it down to the final round later on this afternoon. Well done, Dean. Jack O'Grady will have to wait, and we'll all have to wait to see what the outcome of this one is. The Dunlop hats being handed out. Lots of hats down there with Fergus Brennan looking after everybody. There's our Supersport champion for 2022, Josh Elliott. Well done, Josh. Brilliant stuff indeed. He's just getting a few photographs taken down there, and he's been a welcome addition to the championship here. Brilliant stuff indeed. He's getting a round of applause from everyone, and Johnny Campbell getting great congratulations down there. Delighted for you all down there, lads. As Fergus Brennan, I think, is he nearly ready to go down there, Fergus? Not quite, but we shall see. There's Fergus making his way up to the podium to look after the presentations for the Dunlop Masters Supersport race. Over to Fergus Brennan. Thanks very much, Fergus. Take it over.
Supersport race of the day, and we're going to start as usual with the Cup. Fantastic battle on track, but also in the championship, as Dean Lacey has closed in on the championship lead with that result. So we'll be looking forward to the race later on, but for the moment we're going to get on with the podium for the Supersport Cup. And in 3rd place is Jack O'Grady. Jack making his way up, no hat. Go back and get the hat, the Dunlop hat. Well done, Jack. In 2nd place is Jason Floody. Very close finish there. Jason got the verdict. And their winner, and a great performance from him, is really closing in. He's been a fantastic performer in the 2nd half of the championship. It's Dean Lacey. So I'll give Dean his hat as he goes by. There you go, Dean. Jack, a little bit disappointed with that one.
Yeah, I was 2nd coming out the last corner and I missed the gear, and Jason got me to the line, so yeah.
It's getting tough in this championship, isn't it?
It is, yeah, down to the last race now, so we'll give it a last for the last one.
Either way, you've had a great season.
Yeah, it's been good fun, good crack.
Okay, well, get your race face on again later on and get stuck back into Dean and see if you could do anything about that championship. Jason, you've really come good in the last part of the season. Well done.
Thanks very much. Yeah, well in that race. I got a bit of a bad start. Bike wouldn't go into 2nd, so I was chipping away and past 1 or 2 lads. Chipped away and caught up with O'Grady there, but Jack. And he just missed the gear. I thought he had it, and he missed the gear come down the straight, and I just managed to get it. So it'll keep the championship rolling on to tomorrow, for myself anyway.
Well, you mean later today? We're not racing tomorrow.
So later today, but
it's all right. I've made worse mistakes on the podium than that. Come on down here, Dean. Dean, you've turned into a bit of a star of the Supersport Cup in the 2nd half of the season. Really good performance again today, and it looks like you're closing in on Jack.
Yeah. To be honest, I don't know what to even say or think here, but yeah, just want to see what happens in the next one and go from there. So I'm trying not to think about it, just focus on riding the bike and getting home, and that's it. So I'm delighted.
Okay, well,
I want to say a big thanks to all the people that came down to support me this weekend, the mother and everyone. So fair play to all for coming down. Appreciate it.
Okay, well done. Top 3, the Supersport Cup, Jack O'Grady, Jason Floody and Dean Lacey. So we're going to move on to the main race now, and in 3rd place in the main race is Emmett O'Grady. Well done to Emmett. First year on the Harris Group R6. Great performance from him all year. Number of race wins. Was still in contention for the championship until the start of this race. In 2nd place, and the new Supersport champion, I believe, is Yes, he's got the shirt on. Josh Elliott, everybody. Great performance from him to come into the championship so late in the year, and he's put together a very strong performance with his team, AKR, Thomas Bourne Racing. Either didn't have enough for our race winner today. I was probably holding back a little bit, but we'll find that out in a minute. And our race winner, Johnny Campbell. Second time he's won on the international track. Great performance from Johnny, beating these two much more experienced racers ahead of him. So well done to Johnny, his second win on the international track this season. Hop up there in the top step. We'll go over a word with Emmett. Emmett, you've been pushing hard all season, but unfortunately towards the end of the season it seems to have got away from you a little bit.
Yeah, I suppose one or two bits went away from us towards the end of the season and we just tapered off instead of continuing or going forward. That's taken nothing away from Josh, world-class rider, and his consistency shows that's what wins championships, I suppose. So fair play to him and the AKR team. They've done a great job all year, and same to my team. Fantastic group of lads, Tozzy and all, VTL, Maxus, Harris, the whole group. Thanks very much for everything.
And you'll be back next year on the Harris bike, maybe a bit stronger?
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan, back in the R6 with a bit of more ponies.
Okay, well, we look forward to that, certainly. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to talk to Johnny next, and then we'll talk to the champion. Come down here, Johnny. You seem to like this international track. That's 2 wins.
Yeah, I'll go a lot better on the international track. I just seem to go a bit slower on the national. Yeah, the race was really good. I could just hear Josh and the Honda behind me the whole race, and just needed to hit my markers every time. I just knew if I made a mistake, he'd be under me, and then it'll be twice as hard to get back past. So he just kept me under pressure the whole race.
So a really strong championship this year, which is really good. I'm particularly happy to see you up here winning races after the problems you had at our test day at the start of the season when you had a big off on the R1. So delighted for you that you've had such a great year.
Yeah, at the start of the year, I didn't really think I was going to be racing this year after that crash out the back. But then Magic Bullet offered me the ride, the R6 this year. So we just took it on board and just took it on and just raced it this year. But I'd just like to thank BPE, Pro Cleaner, AJM Sales, and Stanley's Magic Bullet.
Okay, well, thanks very much. More to come later. Obviously, there's more chance for him to win. But I have a feeling we might not see this man in the Supersport race later on in the afternoon that he's champion, as he still has Superbike things to do as well. But Josh, well done. You come into the championship late, but here you are, champion. First year in the series for AKR Thomas Bourne Racing. All round, it's just been a great performance.
Yeah, it's been fantastic. You know, if you'd said I was going to be the Supersport champion when I came here first, I've been laughing at you. Really, I didn't really expect it. I just want to get back racing. I've been off the bike a long time, and fair play to Alex Knowles, the AKR racing team, and Thomas Bourne racing team. They gave me the opportunity, gave me the chance, and it was nice to repay them now with the championship. And yeah, it was a good year. You know, it's just learning getting back on the 600 again, and sort of getting my speed back up again. And yeah, we've finished off champions, which is the ultimate goal, I suppose.
And great job by the team.
Massive, unbelievable. They've essentially given me what I wanted. Every little thing. When I first jumped on the bike, it wasn't just quite right, and we've sort of just slowly added parts. Unfortunately, I went out in qualifying yesterday morning and completely totaled that bike, and I'm on my spare bike now, which just isn't quite perfect, but is enough to do.
Nothing wrong with it.
It's enough to do the job. I'm just disappointed I didn't win that race, to be honest. I'm a bit. I know I won the championship, but I'm probably more disappointed in winning.
So will the team let you come back out and try and win the last one, or is that it?
I kind of want to come back out and see what I can do. But yeah, the focus is really now on the Superbike, trying to get it. We're working away at it. Only our second round on it, so if we can try and go with the front boys again and try and make a battle for the win, I'd be happy enough with that.
Okay, well done to Josh Elliott, second place in the race. But our 2022 Dunlop Masters Supersport champion, Josh Elliott, our race winner today. Well done to Johnny Campbell, and third place and second in the championship, Emmett O'Grady. I've just asked the lads to hold on. I'm not sure if Eamon is here with the awards. It doesn't look like we have the championship points for the Southern Star Awards worked out yet, so we'll get back around to that later. We're going to take a break now, and we will be back with more racing in a short while after a lunch break here at Mondello Park. The Dunlop Masters Superbike Championship live stream is delivered by Maxus Commercial Vehicles and the Harris Group.
Every day is a chance to make this world your own. Just watch out for those you share it with. My world, my station, my music.
The Dunlop Masters Superbike Championship is supported by Dunlop Tyres, Maxus Commercial Vehicles, the Harris Group, Principal Insurance and Superbikes.ie.